average, kids suffer from about 6 to 8 colds per year. And with school now underway, it's even more important to make sure they feel and perform their very best, right? So here to help talk to us about some tips and what we need to know is Dr. Angela Sanchez with the Loveless Medical Group. Dr. Angela Sanchez, thank you so much for coming in once again. So let's talk about kids heading back to class. A lot more germs, obviously, nowadays, right? What's, I guess, some easy things to remember so that kids, at least we can minimize the amount of time that kids get sick?
Well, hand washing is an easy one.
Like
and it's
soap and water,
definitely
right?
a skill. You want to encourage your children to wash their hands after using the restroom, of course, and before eating. I often think that those signs that we post in the restaurants that say employees must wash their hands before returning.
Everybody, right?
Definitely in the elementary schools and the other upper schools as well. So hand washing, and really we should reserve the alcohol hand sanitizers for times when you can't get to a sink.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've been hearing this a lot lately. Does the hand sanitizers really work? I mean, do they have, do they serve their purpose, I guess? And you're saying as a last resort, really?
You know, if it's what you can get to at that time to make sure your hands are clean to move on to the next activity, then it's a good second choice, but washing your hands at the sink is definitely best.
And real quick, how do you know when your child might be too sick to go to school? Because sometimes they'll say, oh, I just don't feel good, or you're just not sure, you know, as a parent.
I think there's some good basic guidelines to watch for. A lot of kids are going to get sniffly and cough in the next 4 to 6 weeks. You've taken the germs from all over the country and stuck them in a little box.
Yeah, no kidding.
In the schools. So a lot of the kids are going to have those symptoms over the next few weeks. So a good rule of thumb is to watch and see if the child is active, playful, and eating.
Active, playful, and eating. Very easy to remember.
If the child won't eat, if they seem kind of laid out and won't
like
play,
lethargic, yeah,
that's a sign that you probably need to keep them out of school. And as sort of a secondary step in that, if you've tried supportive care like fluids, rest, ibuprofen or Tylenol, appropriately dosed for the child's age and weight. If the child doesn't seem to perk up within a couple of days, then they may need to be evaluated by their healthcare provider.
Gotcha. Okay, so we know that a big part of how they perform is what they're putting in their mouth.
Right.
Eating. Okay, so there is a link with staying healthy and food. We have some examples here of perhaps maybe some things that we should stay away. A big snack is potato chips. Good, bad, probably not the first choice.
Well, I love the segments that you had on this morning, really
With
talking
Chef Jan,
a lot about healthy foods for children. And I think that anytime you provide a snack for a kid, you should always process how much processing went into the food in the grocery store. So something that comes in a bag and has a bunch of ingredients listed on the back is probably not the best choice.
Okay. Maybe potato chips might not be the best choice.
Well,
right?
Carrots and hummus, vegetables and ranch, a piece of fruit, a drinkable yogurt, maybe a cheese stick, something like that. If you teach your kids to eat that way early, they're not only going to be more healthy in general, but also be less likely to run into these coughs and colds that we see in the fall.
Yeah, that's such a good point. That really is. And it's a good reminder to us all because we all make mistakes. Let's talk about caffeine and children because sometimes we may not realize that some of the foods or some of the drinks that we're giving our kids have a lot of caffeine.
Right.
Let's take diet soda, for example, Diet Coke. All right, you're thinking, okay, cuts back on the sugar. It may not be the sugary cola drink, but there's caffeine in Diet Coke, right?
Well, not just caffeine, but chemicals. And you know, if you look at the soda in a glass and tip it, you can see the chemicals sitting on top of the surface.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So as a reformed diet soda drinker myself, I can tell you that,
first-hand
it's
experience.
just not the best choice.
Interesting.
So,
and then energy drinks, I gotta squeeze that in there really quick. I know we're running out of time, but energy drinks.
There's a label at the bottom that says the FDA has not evaluated any of the statements made. On anything that includes supplements. This is a big political argument, but
Sure.
anything that has supplements in it may not even be safe for adults, much less children.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're
You know what?
proprietary, so they won't tell us
Dr.
what's
Angela
in them.
Sanchez, we're going to have you back on to talk about energy drinks by itself. That's a whole nother segment. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For a recap and for more information on the Loveless Medical Center, go to CASA.com, click on the blog. We'll be back.